Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shadow Realm Sports Podcast, your number one podcast for everything Heat, everything NBA, and everything in between. I have a lot to unpack here today, so let's get right to it. Actually, let me start off like this. No one in the world is happier than this guy right here. You want to know why? Number one, your Heat. Your Heat won, baby. Moving on to the next round, beating the ice-cold Trae Young birdies. Call them birdies. They're not Hawks, man. You got to earn that title. You're not a Hawk. Birdies. And number two, your boy just got a haircut. And look at this. Shout out to my boy Javon Doom. Lot to unpack here today, so let's get right into it. Your Miami Heat beat the Hawks last night, 97-94. Some headlines right before the game. Kyle Lowry out again with the hamstring injury. And right before, a few hours before the game, Jimmy Butler actually reported to have some right knee inflammation, so he was out for this game today. So that means your Heat had to step up without their two star players, but that doesn't matter, dog, because first of all, we got Hart. Second, we got someone named Oladipo. My boy, it's Depot Day every single day. And for the Hawks, there was no Bogdanovic, but who cares about that? So, with Jimmy out, Depot in the starting lineup, and he started off perfect from the floor. 4 for 4 in the first quarter. Did not miss a single shot, came out strong right at the gate. Very aggressive. Your boy, not my boy, y'all boy, Ice Trae, man, cold. I'm getting cold just thinking about it. Cold again, man. Perfect defense from the Heat. Just being pesky with him the entire series. Just not letting him get into his rhythm. Again, as I mentioned the last podcast, he said this is the toughest he's ever been defended for an entire series since high school. And we just did it again. So first quarter, Jimmy's absence was definitely felt as the Atlanta birdies were forcing us into a lot of one-on-one defense. Very good game plan by the Atlanta coaching staff. But again, with Trae Young being so cold, we were able to keep it relatively close going into the second quarter. Let's see. The second quarter, Caleb Martin, huge off the bench. Got some huge minutes. Little bit of minutes, but just huge off the bench, man. Again, I talk about how stats are pretty much irrelevant. It's what your impact, what you bring to the table, what your impact is on the game. And that's what the Miami Heat have with this squad, man. We have a lot of young players, a lot of undrafted players that were just developed by what I believe is the very best coaching staff in the entire NBA. I know I'm being a little biased, obviously, but you can't overlook what this coaching staff has done. So again, shout out to the best coaching staff in the world. Let's keep it going. So again, with the two stars being out, a lot of people were expecting Tyler Hero and Bam to, finally step up their game. Fortunately, at least for the first half, that wasn't the case. Bam, of course, always good defensively. In my opinion, defensive player of the year, my opinion. A lot of people didn't see it that way. I don't know why. Still a mystery. PJ came on and was just huge defensively again, always scrappy. And your Miami Heat were able to end the half on a 17-2 run where we upped the intensity, started throwing a lot of full court pressure, and just frustrating these Hawks that, again, ice cold. So with that, your Heat went into the half up by, I think it was 10 points. Up big. Just going to say up big. I forgot what it was at the half. All right, heading into the second half, Trae Young, again, I'm going to keep mentioning it, man. He just folded under pressure. No confidence. Just passing out of a lot of his shots. I remember one possession he had a not wide open, but he had a layup that he usually makes. He just passed out, turned the ball over. You could really tell how pesky we were on defense. Hawks came out aggressive to start the second half. Bam still looked out of rhythm early on in the third quarter, but he was able to break that later on. Fourth quarter was a lot of the same from your Miami Heat. Actually, no. We were kind of stagnant on offense starting the fourth quarter, and Hunter from the Atlanta Birdies came on pretty strong. In fact, he not pretty strong. He was on fire. He actually ended up the game with 35 points, their highest score for the night. And that's when your boy Depot, my boy Depot, everybody's boy Depot. I forgot the lyrics to the song, but the Pepas. Pa la discoteca. All right. That's when Depot came on, man, and oh my God, you just got to feel good for the guy, man. Just battled injuries for the past few years. At this point last year, he was actually just accepting the fact that he had to get surgery. He was quoted as saying, actually, let me get the direct quote. He said, "A year ago today, I was expecting and waiting for my next surgery. I remember a year ago today, around this time, I was sitting in a dark room by myself, just broken down. Not because I quit, but because I was at the lowest point I could be at." So to go from that to just winning the game for, man, who's chopping onions, dog? to go from that to winning a playoff game, man, that just has to be like the very best feeling in the world. You got to feel good for the guy. And just, he's a believer in God, just like myself. All praises due to God. And yeah, man, just stayed positive, stayed patient, and he was able to capitalize on this moment. So again, shout out Oladipo. Shout out your Miami Heat. And that's it, man. We're moving to the conference semifinals, dog. 4-1. Amazing, as always. And that's it. Let's go to the next game. Next game of the night, Minnesota, Memphis. Very close game. Came right down to the end. 109-111 in favor of Memphis. And bro, actually, let me talk about this. Right before the game even started, Ja Morant's dad and Usher sitting right next to each other. You cannot tell who was who. Man, they were literally that Spider-Man meme that, you know? So Ja came out actually pretty slow in the first half. The Minnesota Timberwolves were forcing him to be a passer. But that doesn't matter, dog. When you have a team, I've said it before, this team is super hungry, super young, but super hungry. And when you got Bane on your team, anything is possible, man. Shout out to Bane. Ended up with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. All right, let's move on. So again, Ja, man, even though he was slow in the first half, came on huge, just like the superstar he is emerging to be. Huge late in the game. And in fact, the entire Memphis squad was huge late in the game for the fourth quarter. 37 points in the fourth. Just insane. And Ja, man, that boy's cold. But anyways, Ja Morant with the game winner going to his left, switching to the left hand. Beautiful. So yeah, man, some stats from this game. Ja, 30, 13, and 9. And on the other side, Cat, 28, 12, and 1. So yeah, series is now 3-2 in favor of Memphis. So we'll see what happens in the next game, all right? And on that note, I'm going to go to the next game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's round off the last game of the night. Pelicans, Suns. Favor of the Suns, 112-97. The series is now 3-2 in favor of the Phoenix Suns. Some points from this game. Chris Paul having a bounce-back game this time around, was just completely shut down last game by El Boricua, you know, my boy Alvarado, who came up pretty big on this game as well. Again, was very pesky on defense. Forced Chris Paul's lone turnover, his only turnover of the game. But besides that, again, very, very pesky. He came off the bench for 10 points. Ingram came up big for the Pelicans, but he injured himself in the last minute. I think it was the last 2 minutes, and wasn't able to get it going after that. But for the winners of the night, again, Chris Paul, huge game, 22, 6, and 11. And this one was just about another Defensive Player of the Year candidate that honestly should have... Can't even believe Bam wasn't considered. Again, always going to be salty about that. Can't blame me. Just look at me. Love my Heat. But Mikal Bridges came up huge for the Phoenix Suns. Ended up being the highest scorer with 31, 5, and 2. So, again, the series is now 3-2. Going back to Phoenix. We'll see if they can wrap it up, or we can see if this young Pelicans team, they hung around there for most of the game. We'll see what they could do, if they can respond. I like watching them play. They're very young. I can't wait to see them next year when they get Zion Williamson back. I do want to say the acquisition by the front office against CJ McCollum, get them that veteran presence, was amazing for them. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is our 6th episode. We're getting better every single day. Concludes because, man, we just been at this every single day. No breaks, nonstop. Shout out to my team. Always putting on. Shout out Shadow League Records. Shout out everybody, man. Shout out Javon Doom, Spider-Man. Shout out to you watching at home. Shout out to my mom again. I love you, Mom. And yeah, man, that was our show for today. As always, love you. Thank you. Follow us on all platforms. Shadow Realm Sports on IG. Shadow Realm SP on Twitter. My personal page, Drew What It Do on all platforms. And yeah, man, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. One love.